So in 2018, Marvel had a pretty big year. There's a lot of comics that I really enjoyed, and we're going to get to the top 10 comics, mostly series that at least finished an arc or finished their complete run in 2018. That's what we're doing today. But before we even get to my top 10, I just want to say some honorable mentions I'm going to talk about real fast. Black Bolt was pretty good and pretty interesting. The Captain America run from Mark Waid was also pretty good. Definitely some great moments, but overall kind of flattened out at the end, so I can't put it on my top 10, but I still enjoyed it. Old Man Logan got a new writer in Ed Brisson, and I have to say I really enjoyed his style of Old Man Logan for the most part. It had one excellent arc and then 3 pretty good ones. So overall, I really enjoyed Old Man Logan. It almost made my top 10. All New Wolverine was actually my top comic of last year. Unfortunately, this year, it is not. I did enjoy it still. I thought it just wasn't as strong ending as it was in the beginning. And last but not least, Punisher War Machine. I don't know how this idea was never made before, but it is super fucking fun, and I enjoyed it for what it was, though it did have issues. Anyway, those are honorable mentions, all worth checking out. But let's get to the top 10 best comics of 2018 from Marvel. Coming in number 10 is X-Men Red. X-Men Red is a good jumping on point for new X-Men readers. X-Men has been kind of hard series to jump on since there's so many goddamn comics for this series, but I think Red, where Jean Grey returns and is a leader, is easy enough to get sucked into. The series is heavily political in its message of, wanting to, end all hatred. That's kind of the message of the thing. I mean, it's weird that some people are against this for some reason. But anyway, it might not be for everyone. It's more down to earth. It's dealing with everyday hatred and bigotry versus a more epic storyline of the X-Men versus some Sentinels. So I really did enjoy it for what it was. It does come a little heavy-handed at points, but it's still a really solid, fun, a very interesting team lineup. And X-Men Red, I have to say, if there's any X-Men title worth checking out, it's the one. The Immortal Hulk. I don't think I'd ever put a Hulk title on my top 10 list, but Immortal Hulk is really showing me that it's a fun little trip into a darker Hulk. On top of the more horror root storylines, you actually occasionally get pretty funny moments, some body horror moments, some really epic fights with the Hulk versus like the Avengers. Immortal Hulk is only 2 arcs in, but it's shaping up to be an actually pretty extremely strong run for the big green monster. Once again, just for it being on my top 10, you have to check out Immortal Hulk. It's one of the best Hulk comics in probably 10 plus years. Coming in number 8 is the Mighty Thor. That finished this year with the death of the Thor arc, and it was actually pretty epic. This year, it really stepped up the game for me for Thor. While her series kind of shifted between good to okay and kind of went back and forth, the final 2 arcs really, in my opinion, turned out to be super enjoyable. Epic would be kind of an easy word to use when you have like Odin's son, and Mighty Thor all fighting together to take down the big bad. The artwork is just stunning. For that alone, it's worth checking out. I think this was a very solid finish up for the Mighty Thor series, and I really enjoyed it. Having checked out, back to the Odin's son Thor, but I really enjoyed the finish here, and I think it was a very strong ending to this run. Number 7 is Daredevil. I'm not even going to lie. Daredevil will probably always be on my list, unless Diggle comes back. No, I'm just kidding. Daredevil has yet another strong year with more courtroom drama this time, and the Kingpin becomes the mayor of New York. That's right, folks. If you thought Matt was having a bad time before, imagine his biggest enemy basically getting all the power he needs to ruin all the superheroes' lives in New York. Daredevil remains engaging. It's a fun series. It mixes darkness and lightness from the previous couple of runs and puts it all together. I think Charles Soule really did Daredevil justice, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here, but I have to say, I really enjoyed this run. Coming in number 6 is Venom. Sorry, that stupid song was playing. I hate that song. Anyway, Venom. Should be no surprise to see Donny Cates' name on a product here because it's special. He's special. He's a great writer. Not only did he do wonders for Doctor Strange earlier in the year, but he also took the reins of Venom. And Venom is, I can't believe, good. After 2 full years of shitty storylines for Venom in a single arc, Coates has made Venom fucking good. New villains, new symbiotes, new friends, a whole new level of holy shit moments. Venom is one of the biggest surprises of the year. Who knew if you who knows if it'll maintain the awesome factor that we got here, but I think Donnie proved himself, and I'm really in for the long haul for this series. Number 5 is Doctor Strange. Talking about Donny Cates, you'll see him a lot on this list. Another one that I loved is Doctor Strange. I think it's the second biggest surprise hit for the year for me. We'll get to the first one soon. We'll save the biggest for later. But basically, Donny gives new purpose to Loki. That's number 1. Oh my god. Turning him into kind of like this fun antagonist, protagonist type thing when he becomes the Supreme Sorcerer. On top of that, Strange is trying to live a new lifestyle for a bit, but eventually he has enough because Loki took his job and he's like, oh hell no. It's a super damn fun ride. Even the small mini event, the Damnation event, is fun. And then the last issue is gotta be one of the best final issues of all time. It's just so damn well done, and even has a Spider-Man cameo that's magical. This is easily the best Doctor Strange run I've ever read, and I actually liked a couple of them, but this one really just stuck with me, and it's the second biggest surprise of the year, so it definitely deserves its number 5 spot. Coming in at number 4 is Jessica Jones' Blind Spot. Well. Jessica Jones finally gets a new writer. Listen, I love Bendis' original alias, and I enjoyed his Jessica Jones return, but I was definitely ready for a new team, someone to tackle it. And with Kelly Thompson, and I believe, sorry if I'm saying this wrong, Maddie D. Lulis, I think, something like, I'm sorry for saying your name wrong. If you're watching this, you're not watching this. Who am I joking? But anyway, they're taking the helm for the Jessica Jones title, doing her investigations into a murder of a client she once had. It's the perfect setup. That's what all I want in Jessica Jones. When the danger brings it close to home, though, how will our investigator react? Not to mention the final pages of this series, or season you want to call it, is fucking crazy. It's the street level stuff that I always love. Jessica Jones really is a really fun mystery here. Definitely check it out. It's worth it. Woo! Coming in at number 3 is Amazing Spider-Man, and we're talking about Dan Slott's run. Unfortunately, at the time I'm doing this, I have not read Nick Spencer's run yet. I'm eager to check it out, though. But Dan Slott's run on Amazing Spider-Man has always had its ups and downs for me. However, I was pretty excited to see how his 10-year run, that's a pretty damn long run, would end up. Now, did it live up? That's what I'm saying. And I would say so, actually. The final big arc is the Red Goblin is on the rise. Green Goblin, now fused with the Carnage suit, begins to wreck Peter Parker's life after finding out who he is. In doing so, you have this epic showdown with pretty much every goddamn Spider-Man ally you can think of facing off against the Red Goblin. It's exciting, it's funny, and honestly, it's badass. And it also has a heartfelt goodbye to our hero as Dan says adios and leaves one of his, probably his favorite character behind. He did a solid ending. It's actually one of my favorite wrap-ups for a series, and I'm definitely putting it at my number 3. Number 2 is Thanos Wind. Oh look, another Donny Cates comic. When will the madness end? Well, not here, because Donny Cates takes a character I always thought as meh, and gives him one of the best stories that you can create with someone as godly-like as Thanos. While Jeff Lemire did give an interesting take, and he was on my list last year, I think Donnie, who goes just balls to the walls with him, like, it's just great. Who can beat Thanos? That's the question, right? Well, the only other person in the world who could beat Thanos is another Thanos. Wait, what? Yeah, that's right. This is where Cosmic Ghost Rider comes in. This is where the Silver Surfer comes in with fucking Thor's hammer. What is happening, you're asking? You gotta go read Thanos Wind. It's complete in one arc. Well worth reading. Just amazing. Just amazing. And coming in at number 1 is Cosmic Ghost Rider. Talking about Cosmic Ghost Rider from Thanos Winds, this is hands down the biggest surprise for me all year. Donny Cates is obviously on fire, so there's 4 out of the 10 titles on this list. He's on there, 3 of them being in my top 5. I mean, come on. Cosmic Ghost Rider is the story of a man who has gone insane, is broken, and tries to do the right thing. Going back in time, Cosmic Ghost Rider grabs, you guessed it, baby Thanos, and tries to kill him at first, but then he can't because he has a conscience and says he's going to try to raise him the right way. Yes, this is a hilarious comic with some epic set pieces, a bittersweet ending as well. Cosmic Ghost Rider is hands down one of the most entertaining titles of the entire year, and my number 1 Marvel title of the year. And that really wraps up my top 10 Marvel titles. Now, there's a lot of great titles this year. Some of you have read more than I have or less. pick your titles, put them below. I would love to see some runs or series that you really enjoyed. And I really did have a good year with Marvel. I think they really came through and improved. I enjoyed last year's, but this year was a lot harder for me to choose. I thought there were a lot of good series, and even my honorable mentions, I all enjoyed those. So definitely a harder year to choose my favorite, but these 10 I think really stuck with me, and I hope you guys check them out, enjoy them, and everybody else, have a great day. I still haven't got an ending to these fucking videos. I am sorry. Click one of my other videos though. They look so pretty. Do I sound like every other YouTuber now? Yes, I do.